lights go out, the stories begin. Night stories. Your nightmares become real.
I've always been drawn to the dark web, not for the illegal stuff, but for the thrill of finding something no one else could. It's like digging through a digital graveyard, unearthing relics others are too scared to touch. That's how I ended up with the laptop. A listing caught my eye on a forum buried in the onion layers, a used machine for dirt cheap. The seller didn't say much, just that it was functional and came with unique software. I should have known better. I did know better. But the price was too good, and my curiosity was a beast that wouldn't stay caged. The package arrived in a plain cardboard box, no return address, just my name scrawled in black marker. Inside was a battered Dell, its silver casing scratched and dented, the keyboard sticky with grime. It looked like it had been through a war. I powered it on, expecting a sluggish boot, but the screen flickered to life almost instantly, displaying a desktop cluttered with unnamed folders and a single text file labeled Read. My gut told me to stop, to toss the thing out the window, but I clicked the file. It was a short message. Don't trust what it shows you. Don't run the program. No signature, no context. I laughed it off. Probably some edgy hacker's idea of a prank. I spent the first night poking around, trying to figure out what I'd bought. The laptop was old, but it ran smooth. Too smooth for its age. The folders were a mess, random strings of numbers and letters, filled with files I couldn't open. Encrypted, maybe. One folder stood out, though, labeled System Clean. Inside was an executable file called purge.exe. I hesitated, remembering the warning, but I'd bought this thing to explore, not to play it safe. I ran a virus scan first. Nothing came up. Clean as a whistle, so I double-clicked. The screen went black, and for a moment I thought I'd bricked it. Then a low hum started, not from the speakers, but from the laptop itself, like the whine of a dying insect. The screen flickered back on, but it wasn't the desktop anymore. It was a video feed, grainy and dim, showing a room I didn't recognize. A concrete basement, maybe, with stained walls and a single bare bulb swinging from the ceiling. In the center was a chair, rusted metal, bolted to the floor. My stomach twisted. Something about the image felt wrong, like I wasn't supposed to see it. I tried to close the program, but the keyboard wouldn't respond. The mouse cursor was gone. I mashed the power button, but the laptop stayed on, the hum growing louder, vibrating through my desk. The feed shifted. Someone was in the chair now. I couldn't see their face. Their head was slumped forward, hair matted with something dark and wet. Blood, maybe. Their hands were bound behind them, wrists raw and oozing where the ropes had bitten into the skin. I stared, heart pounding, telling myself it was fake, some elaborate deepfake or art project. But the details were too real. The way the light caught the sheen of sweat on their skin, the slow drip of liquid hitting the floor. I yanked the power cord from the wall, but the laptop didn't shut off. The battery should have been dead. I hadn't charged it. Yet the screen stayed lit, the hum now a pulsing throb that made my teeth ache. The figure in the chair moved. Their head jerked up and I froze. Their face was wrong. Not blurred or distorted, but wrong in a way I can't fully describe. The eyes were too large, too dark, like they'd been hollowed out and filled with ink. The mouth hung open, lips cracked and bleeding, stretched into a grin that wasn't a grin. They were looking at me. Not at the camera. At me. I know how insane that sounds, but I felt it, like a cold finger tracing my spine. The figure leaned closer, their face filling the screen, and a voice crackled through the speakers. Not words, not exactly, just a low, guttural sound, like someone trying to speak through a throat full of gravel. I slammed the laptop shut, my hands shaking so bad I nearly dropped it. The hum stopped, but the silence was worse. It was too heavy, like the air had thickened. I sat there, staring at the closed laptop, half expecting it to spring open on its own. It didn't. I shoved it under my bed, out of sight, and tried to sleep. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw that face, those eyes, that not grin. I kept my lights on all night. The next day, I told myself I'd overreacted. It was just a virus, some sicko's idea of a scare. I'd dealt with malware before. I could handle this. I pulled the laptop out, determined to wipe it clean. But when I opened it, the screen was already on, showing the same basement, the same chair. Empty this time, but the stains on the concrete were darker, fresher. I tried to access the task manager, the command prompt, anything, but the laptop ignored me. Instead, a new window popped up, a text box, blinking cursor, like it was waiting for me to type. I didn't touch the keyboard, but words started appearing. Watch, learn, obey. I unplugged it again, ripped out the battery this time, and threw it in my closet. I wasn't imagining things. The laptop was doing this on its own. I considered smashing it, but something stopped me. Not fear, curiosity. I wanted to know what it was, what it wanted. That was my first mistake. No, my second. The first was buying the damn thing. That night, I heard the hum again. Faint, muffled, coming from the closet. I told myself it was impossible. The battery was out, the power cord disconnected. But the sound grew louder, insistent, until it felt like it was inside my skull. I opened the closet, and the laptop was on, screen glowing through the crack of its half-open lid. The basement was back, but the chair wasn't empty anymore. There was a new figure, smaller, maybe a child. Their face was hidden, turned away, but their body was shaking, like they were sobbing. The ropes were tighter this time, cutting so deep I could see muscle glistening through the wounds. Blood pooled beneath the chair, thick and black, spreading like oil. I didn't touch the laptop. I couldn't. My hands wouldn't move. The screen flickered, and the figure's head snapped toward me, face still hidden but somehow worse for it. The voice came again, louder, clearer, a wet rasp that formed a single word. You. My heart stopped. I swear it did, just for a second. Then the screen went black, and the hum died. I slammed the closet door and wedged a chair under the handle. Like that would do anything. I didn't sleep. I couldn't. Every creak in the house, every shadow, felt like it was watching me. I kept thinking about the warning in that text file. Don't trust what it shows you. But what if it wasn't just showing me things? What if it was doing something to me? I felt different. Like something was crawling under my skin, something I couldn't scratch out. I checked my phone, my other devices, half expecting them to start humming too. They didn't, but that didn't make me feel better. By morning, I was a wreck. I needed answers. I went back to the dark web, to the forum where I'd found the listing. It was gone. Not just the post, the entire forum. Dead links, 404 errors, like it had never existed. I tried contacting the seller through the encrypted chat we'd used, but my messages bounced back. User not found. I dug deeper, scouring other forums, searching for anything about cursed laptops or haunted software. I found nothing, just the usual conspiracy threads and creepypasta nonsense, but one post, buried in a dead thread, mentioned a program called Purge. No details, just a warning. If you see it, don't run it. It sees you back. I should have stopped there. I should have burned the laptop, buried the ashes, and moved to another country. But I didn't. I opened it again. The screen was different this time. Not the basement, but a live feed of my room. My desk, my chair, the window behind me. I spun around, hard in my throat, but there was no camera, no hidden device. Just me, alone. The feed shifted, zooming in on my face, my real face, pale and sweating, eyes wide with terror. Then the text box appeared again, and words typed themselves out. You can't stop watching. I screamed and threw the laptop across the room. It hit the wall, screen cracking, but the hum didn't stop. It was louder now, coming from everywhere, my walls, my floor, my head. The screen flickered, still showing my room, but I wasn't alone anymore. There was something behind me, something tall and wrong, its face a smear of black where a face should have been. I turned, but nothing was there, just my empty room. On the screen, though, it was still there, closer now, its hands reaching for me. I don't know how I'm still typing this. I don't know how I'm still here. The laptop's on the floor, screen shattered, but it's still on, still humming, still showing that thing standing behind me. I can feel it now, cold and heavy, like a weight on my shoulders. I don't want to turn around. I don't want to see, but I can't stop watching. The laptop sat on the floor where I'd thrown it, screen cracked but glowing, the hum pulsing like a heartbeat. I hadn't moved in hours. hadn't dared to look behind me. The air in my room felt wrong, thick and sour, like something had died in the walls. My eyes were locked on the screen on that live feed of my room, where the thing, tall, smeared, faceless, stood just behind my shoulder. It hadn't moved closer, but it hadn't left either. Its presence was a pressure, a cold weight that made my skin crawl. I wanted to run, to scream, to do anything, but my body wouldn't listen. It was like the laptop had hooked itself into me, tethering my mind to that shattered screen. I forced myself to look away, to focus on the wall, the window, anything real, but the hum followed me, burrowing into my skull, a low, relentless drone that made my teeth ache. I could still see the glow of the screen in my peripheral vision, flickering like a dying star. My hands shook as I reached for my phone, desperate to call someone, anyone. But the screen was dead. Not out of battery. Dead, black, unresponsive even when I plugged it in. I tried my tablet next, then my old desktop. Nothing worked. Every device in my house was bricked, except the laptop. I don't know how long I sat there staring at the floor, trying to convince myself this wasn't happening. The hum shifted, growing sharper, like a blade scraping bone. I glanced at the laptop, and the feed had changed. It wasn't my room anymore. It was that basement again, the concrete walls slick with something dark, the chair bolted to the floor. But this time, there were two figures, one in the chair, bound and trembling, their face hidden by matted hair. The other stood behind them, tall and wrong, just like the thing in my room. Its head was a blur, a void where features should have been, but I could feel it staring, not at the figure in the chair, but at me. The figure in the chair lifted their head, and my breath caught. It was me. Not a reflection, not a trick of the light. Me. My face, pale and gaunt, eyes wide with terror, mouth open in a silent scream. The ropes were cutting into my wrists, blood dripping in slow, thick streams to the floor. I touched my hands, my real hands, and felt nothing. No ropes, no pain. But on the screen, I was bleeding, shaking, my lips moving like I was trying to speak. No sound came through, just the hum, louder now, vibrating through my chest. I slammed the laptop shut, or tried to. The lid wouldn't budge like it was welded open. I grabbed it, intending to smash it against the wall again, but my hands froze mid-motion. I couldn't move. My fingers were locked around the laptop, my eyes glued to the screen. The other me, the one in the chair, was crying now, tears mixing with blood, their mouth forming words I couldn't hear. The thing behind them leaned closer, its blurred head tilting, and I swear I felt its breath on my neck, cold and wet, like something dredged from a sewer. The text box appeared again, the cursor blinking. Words typed themselves out. You are here. My heart pounded so hard I thought it would burst. I wasn't there. I was in my room, in my house, safe. But the screen showed otherwise, and the weight on my shoulders grew heavier, like hands pressing down, forcing me to keep watching. The hum was unbearable now, a scream in my bones, and I realized I was humming along with it, my voice low and guttural, not my own. I don't know how I broke free. Maybe it was adrenaline, maybe it was sheer panic, but I managed to tear my hands away and stumble to the door. I fumbled with the knob, my fingers slick with sweat, and ran into the hallway. The hum followed, fainter, but still there, like a shadow trailing me. I locked the door behind me, knowing it wouldn't help, and ran to the kitchen. I needed something to destroy the laptop. Hammer, knife, anything. I grabbed a butcher knife from the block, its blade glinting under the fluorescent light, and turned to head back. That's when I saw it. Not on a screen, not in my head, in my kitchen. The thing from the feed, tall and wrong, standing in the corner where the shadows were thickest. Its head was still a smear, a black hole that sucked in the light. But its body was solid, too solid, all sharp angles and unnatural joints. It didn't move, didn't speak, just stood there, watching. I dropped the knife, the clatter deafening in the silence. The hum was back, louder, coming from everywhere and nowhere, and I realized the laptop was still in the other room. This wasn't a glitch. This wasn't a virus. This was something else. I backed away, my bare feet slipping on the tile, and ran for the front door. It was locked. Not just the deadbolt. The entire door felt sealed, like it had been fused to the frame. I pounded on it, screaming for help, but my voice sounded wrong. hollow, like I was shouting into a void. The windows were next, but they wouldn't budge either, the glass cold and unyielding under my fists. I was trapped. The hum grew louder, and I turned to see the thing moving, not walking but gliding, its limbs bending in ways that made my stomach churn. It stopped at the edge of the kitchen, tilting its head, and I felt that same cold breath on my neck, even though it was across the room. I bolted back to my bedroom, slamming the door and shoving my desk against it. The laptop was still on the floor, screen glowing, showing the basement again. The chair was empty now, but the ropes were still there, slick with blood, and the stains on the concrete were spreading, forming shapes that looked like words, though I couldn't read them. I grabbed the hammer I kept in my toolbox and raised it over the laptop, ready to smash it to pieces. But the screen flickered, and there I was again, back in the chair, my face twisted in pain, my wrists raw and bleeding. The thing was behind me, closer now, its hands, or whatever they were, hovering over my shoulders. The text box appeared. "Break it, and you stay." I froze, hammer trembling in my hand. Stay where? In the basement? In that chair? I didn't know, but the threat was clear. I lowered the hammer, my arms shaking, and sank to the floor. The hum softened, almost soothing now, like it was rewarding me for obeying. I hated myself for it, but I couldn't bring myself to destroy the laptop. Not yet. I needed to understand what was happening, needed to find a way out. I crawled to my desk, keeping the laptop in sight, and started writing this down, documenting everything. Maybe it's stupid, maybe it's pointless, but it's the only thing keeping me sane. The thing in the kitchen hasn't come closer, but I can still feel it, watching, waiting. The laptop screen keeps flickering, showing me in that chair, then my room, then the basement again, like it's cycling through realities, each one worse than the last. I tried searching the dark web again, using my neighbor's Wi-Fi on a burner phone I'd forgotten about. I found a single thread, buried deep, mentioning purge.exe. The poster claimed it wasn't a virus, not in the traditional sense. They called it a key, something that unlocks doors better left closed. They said it doesn't just infect your device, it infects you. Once you run it, it knows you, sees you, follows you. The thread ended abruptly, the user's account deleted. I kept digging, but every lead went cold, every forum vanished. It's like the dark web itself is erasing the evidence. The hum's getting louder again. I can hear it through the walls, through the floor, through my skin. The laptop's screen just changed. It's showing my room again, but I'm not alone. The thing is behind me, closer than before. Its blurred head filling half the screen. I can feel it now, not just the cold, but a pressure, like fingers digging into my shoulders, slow and deliberate. I don't want to turn around. I can't. The text box is back and words are typing themselves out. You belong to it now. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can stop this. The laptop's still on, still humming, still watching. I'm writing this because I need someone to know, need someone to understand what's happening. If you're reading this, don't buy anything from the dark web. Don't run purge.exe. And whatever you do, don't look behind you. The words on the screen. You belong to it now, burned into my eyes, each letter a needle in my brain. The hum was unbearable, a grinding pulse that seemed to come from inside my skull, syncing with my heartbeat. I sat frozen, the hammer still in my hand, its weight useless against the thing that was no longer just on the laptop but in my house, in my reality. The pressure on my shoulders hadn't eased. It was heavier now, like claws sinking into muscle, cold and deliberate. I didn't dare turn around. I knew it was there. The thing with the smeared face, its presence a violation of everything that made sense. The laptop flickered again, the screen shifting to the basement. The chair was empty, but the ropes were coiled on the floor like snakes, slick with blood that glistened under the swinging bulb. The concrete was covered in those strange, shifting stains, no longer just random shapes, but forming something clearer. Letters, maybe, or symbols, twisting into patterns that hurt to look at. My eyes stung, and I realized I was crying, not from fear, but from the sheer wrongness of it all. The hum spiked, and the screen changed again, showing my room, my back, my hunched shoulders. The thing was closer now, its blurred head looming over me, so close I could see the edges of its form fraying, like static eating away at reality. I forced myself to move, to do something, anything. I dropped the hammer and grabbed a notebook from my desk, scribbling down the symbols from the basement feed. My hand shook so badly the lines were barely legible, but I needed to record it, to make sense of it. The symbols didn't look like any language I knew. Sharp, jagged lines that seemed to writhe on the page, like they were trying to crawl off. Writing them felt wrong, like I was inviting something into me. But I couldn't stop. The hum softened as I wrote, almost approving, and that scared me more than anything. The laptop beeped, a sharp electronic chirp that made me jump. A new window opened, a command prompt, black with green text scrolling too fast to read. It stopped abruptly, and a single line appeared. "Enter the key." I stared, my mind racing. Key? The forum post had called Purge Exia key, something that unlocked doors. But what did it want now? A password? A code? I typed Purge, my fingers trembling, and hit enter. The screen went black, and for a moment I thought I'd done it, broken the cycle. Then the hum roared back, louder than ever, and the screen lit up with a new feed. It was me again, in the basement, in the chair, but this time, I wasn't alone. There were others, figures in the shadows, their faces blurred like the thing behind me. They stood in a circle around the chair, silent, motionless, their heads tilted at unnatural angles. My screen self was screaming, thrashing against the ropes, blood pouring from my wrists, my mouth, my eyes. The ropes weren't just cutting. They were burrowing, sinking into my flesh like living things, threading through muscle and bone. I gagged, bile rising in my throat, but I couldn't look away. The hum was in my chest now, vibrating my ribs, and I realized I was screaming too, my voice blending with the one on the screen. The thing in my room moved. I didn't see it, didn't hear it, but I felt it. A shift in the air, a cold so sharp it burned. It was closer, its presence a weight that pressed me into my chair. The screen flickered, and the feed changed again, showing my room, my real room, but from a different angle, like a camera mounted on the ceiling. I was there, hunched over the laptop, and the thing was right behind me, its blurred head inches from mine. Its hands, if you could call them that, were on my shoulders, long, thin fingers curling into my skin. I could feel them, not just in my mind but in my body, piercing, cold, real. I bolted from the chair, knocking it over, and ran to the corner of the room, pressing myself against the wall. The laptop stayed on, the hum unbroken, the screen still showing me, now cowering, the thing's hands still on me even though I'd moved. I checked my shoulders, half expecting to see blood, but there was nothing, just my skin, clammy and pale. The disconnect made it worse, like I was living in two places at once, my room and that basement, both equally real, both equally wrong. I tried to think, to reason through the panic. The laptop was the source, or at least the anchor. If I could destroy it, maybe I could stop this. But the warning, "Break it and you stay," kept me paralyzed. Stay where? In the basement? With that thing? I couldn't risk it. I needed another way. I grabbed the notebook again, flipping through the pages of symbols, hoping for a clue. The lines seemed to move, rearranging themselves into new shapes, and I slammed the notebook shut, my heart pounding. It wasn't just the laptop. Whatever this was, it was spreading, infecting everything I touched. The hum changed again, slowing, deepening, like a voice trying to form words. I looked at the laptop, and the text box was back. "Give it a name," it said. A name? For what? The thing? The program? I didn't understand, but the hum was pressing, demanding, and I felt like if I didn't obey, something worse would happen. I typed the first thing that came to mind. Watcher. It felt right somehow, like I'd named the thing behind me, the thing that saw me, knew me. The screen flickered and the hum softened, almost pleased. The feed shifted back to the basement, but the chair was empty again, the ropes gone, the stains fading into the concrete. For a moment, I thought I'd won. That naming it had given me control. Then I heard it. A sound behind me. Not the hum, but something wet, like footsteps on a damp floor. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. The screen showed my room again, and the thing, the watcher, wasn't behind me anymore. It was in front of me, standing by the door, its blurred head tilted, its body too tall, too thin, too wrong. The feed zoomed in on its face, or where its face should have been, and I saw something in the blur. A flicker of features. Eyes, too many, too large, blinking out of sync. My stomach lurched and I vomited, the bile hot and sour, splattering the floor. The watcher didn't move, but the hum was back, louder, triumphant. The screen flickered, and I saw myself again, not in the basement, but in my room, standing where the watcher stood. My face blurred, my body wrong. I touched my face, my real face, and felt nothing but skin, but the screen showed something else. My eyes too large, my mouth stretched, my features fraying into static. The text box appeared. "You are the key." I screamed, or tried to. My voice was gone, swallowed by the hum. The watcher was closer now, not on the screen, but in my room, its presence a cold, crushing weight. I could smell it, rotten, metallic, like blood and rust. Its hands were on me again, not just pressure, but pain, sharp and deep, like needles under my skin. The laptop screen went black, but the hum didn't stop, and I realized it wasn't coming from the laptop anymore. It was coming from me. I don't know how I'm still writing this. My hands are moving, but they don't feel like mine. The watcher is here, in my room, in my head, and I can't tell where I end and it begins. The laptop screen is blank, but I can still see the basement in my mind, the chair, the ropes, the blood. I can feel the ropes now, not on my wrists but in my veins, threading through me, binding me to something I can't name. The notebook is open beside me, the symbols moving again, forming words I don't want to read. The hum is softer now, almost gentle, like it knows I can't fight anymore. If you're reading this, don't look for the laptop. Don't look for purge.exe, and don't name it. I did, and now it knows me. It's not just watching anymore. It's part of me. The hum is me now. It's not just in my head or my chest. It's in my blood, my bones, a vibration that stitches me together and pulls me apart at the same time. I'm still in my room, or what's left of it. The walls feel closer, the air thicker, like I'm breathing through wet cloth. The laptop sits on the floor, its cracked screen dark but alive, pulsing with a faint glow that matches the rhythm of the hum. The watcher is here too, not just behind me but everywhere. Its presence a shadow that clings to every surface, every thought. I can't see it anymore. Not like before, but I feel it inside me. A cold, crawling thing that's burrowing deeper with every breath. I haven't moved in hours, maybe days. Time doesn't feel right anymore. The clock on my wall is stuck, the hands frozen at 3:17, though I don't know if that's AM or PM, or if it even matters. My notebook is open, the pages filled with those writhing symbols now forming words I can almost understand. Phrases like, "open the door," and "give yourself." I didn't write them. My hands did, but not me. The pen is still in my grip, the ink smearing where my fingers tremble, leaving streaks of black that look like blood in the dim light. The laptop turned itself on again. I didn't touch it, didn't want to, but the screen flickered to life, showing the basement. The chair was back, bolted to the floor, but it wasn't empty. It was me again, or something wearing my face, my body, but twisted, wrong. My screen self was motionless, head slumped, ropes coiled around my arms and legs, not cutting this time, but fused, like they'd grown into my skin, veins of red and black pulsing under the surface. My eyes were open, staring straight ahead, but they weren't mine. Too large, too dark, like the watcher's, blinking in a rhythm that matched the hum. I tried to look away, but my head wouldn't move. My eyes were locked on the screen, on that version of me, and I felt it. The ropes, the weight, the cold seeping into my bones. I touched my arms, expecting to feel the ropes, but my skin was smooth, unmarked. Yet the sensation lingered, like a memory my body couldn't shake. The screen flickered, and the basement dissolved into my room again, the feed showing me sitting here, writing, the watcher's blurred form looming behind me. But this time, there was something new, a door in the corner of my room, where no door had ever been. It wasn't right. My room has one door, the one I'd barricaded, and two windows, both sealed. This door was different, tall, narrow, made of something dark and slick, like polished bone. It hadn't been there before, I was sure of it, but now it was, solid and real, its surface pulsing faintly in sync with the hum. The laptop screen zoomed in on it, the feed so clear I could see the grain of the material, the way it shimmered like wet skin. The text box appeared, "Open it." I didn't want to. Every fiber of my being screamed to stay away, to run, to hide. But where could I go? The house was a cage, the windows and doors unyielding, the watcher everywhere. I stood, my legs shaking, and took a step toward the door. The hum surged, approving, and I hated it, hated how it felt like a reward, like I was a dog being trained. The door was cold under my hand, not just cold but alive, thrumming with the same vibration that ran through me. There was no handle, no knob, just a smooth surface that seemed to suck in the light. I pushed, and it gave way, swinging inward with a sound like tearing flesh. Beyond it was darkness, not the kind you see at night, but a void, a nothingness that felt hungry. The hum was louder here, coming from the darkness, calling me. I stepped back, heart pounding, but the laptop screen flickered, showing the basement again, showing me in the chair, my face now fully blurred, my body twisting into something not human. The ropes were gone, replaced by something worse, tendrils, black and glistening, growing out of my skin, wrapping around my limbs, my neck, my face. The text box flashed, "Go inside." I slammed the door shut, or tried to. It wouldn't move, stuck open, the darkness beyond it pulsing, breathing. The watcher was behind me again, its cold hands on my shoulders, not pressing, but guiding, urging me toward the door. I could feel its breath, not on my neck, but in my mind, a wet, rasping whisper that wasn't words but intent. Go, obey, become. I stumbled back, tripping over the chair, and fell to the floor. The laptop was closer now, though I hadn't moved it. Its screen showing the door, the darkness, and me, standing at the edge, one foot already across the threshold. I crawled to the notebook, desperate to anchor myself to something real. I wrote down everything. The door, the darkness, the tendrils. But the words twisted as I wrote, the symbols bleeding into each other, forming new phrases. You are the door. I threw the notebook across the room, pages fluttering like dying birds, and grabbed the hammer again. I raised it over the laptop, screaming, willing myself to smash it, to end this. But my arm froze, the hum spiking so hard I thought my skull would crack. The screen showed my face, not blurred but clear, my eyes black, my mouth open, tendrils spilling out like vomit, writhing across the screen. I dropped the hammer, gasping, and the door in the corner pulsed, the darkness beyond it shifting, like something was moving inside. I could hear it now, not just the hum but footsteps, slow and deliberate, wet and heavy, coming closer. The watcher wasn't behind me anymore. It was in the darkness, waiting, its presence a pull I couldn't resist. I stood, not because I wanted to, but because my body wasn't mine anymore. The hum was too strong, too deep, and I was walking toward the door, my feet dragging, my mind screaming to stop. I reached the threshold, the darkness so close I could feel it, cold and slick, like oil against my skin. The laptop screen flickered behind me, showing me stepping through, my body dissolving into the void, piece by piece, until there was nothing left but the tendrils, coiling and twisting, becoming something else. The text box flashed one last time. Welcome home. I don't know how I pulled back. Maybe it was the last shred of my will. Maybe it was luck, but I threw myself backward, collapsing onto the floor, my chest heaving. The door was still there, still open, the darkness still waiting. The hum was softer now, patient, like it knew I couldn't fight forever. The laptop was silent, its screen dark, but I knew it wasn't over. The watcher was still here, still inside me, and the door wasn't going anywhere. I'm writing this now, though I don't know why. Maybe it's a warning, maybe it's a confession. My hands are shaking, and the symbols are creeping into my vision, even when I close my eyes. I can feel the tendrils not on my skin, but under it, moving, spreading. The door is still open, and the darkness is calling, not with words, but with a need, a hunger that's becoming my own. I don't know how much longer I can resist. The hum is quiet now, but it's still there, waiting, and I'm afraid that when it starts again, I won't be me anymore. If you're reading this, don't look for the door. Don't step through. And whatever you do, don't name it. I called it the Watcher, and now it's part of me. It's not just watching anymore, it's becoming me. The door is still there, a gash in the corner of my room, its bone-slick surface pulsing in time with the hum that's now a part of me. I haven't gone near it since I pulled back, but it's all I can think about. The darkness beyond it isn't just empty. It's alive, watching, waiting for me to step through. The laptop hasn't turned on again, but its silence is worse than the hum. It's like it knows I'm too weak to fight, too broken to run. The Watcher is inside me now, its cold tendrils threading through my thoughts, my veins, twisting me into something I don't recognize. I can feel it in my chest, a weight that's not my heart, a rhythm that's not my pulse. I haven't slept. I can't. Every time I close my eyes, I see the basement, the chair, my body, or what's left of it, tangled in those black, glistening ropes that aren't ropes, but something alive, something that grows. My skin itches, not on the surface, but underneath, like something's moving there, crawling just out of reach. I've checked 100 times, running my hands over my arms, my legs, my face. Nothing. No marks, no wounds. But I can feel it. A slow, deliberate invasion, like the Watcher is carving out space inside me, making room for itself. The notebook is useless now. The pages are a mess of symbols, smeared and bleeding. The words no longer mine. They've changed, forming sentences I didn't write. The door is you, and let it in. I tore the pages out, burned them in the sink, but the smoke smelled wrong. Acrid, metallic, like blood boiled to ash. The fire didn't help. The symbols are in my head now, flashing behind my eyes, rearranging themselves into patterns that make my stomach churn. I tried to leave the room to get away from the door, the laptop, the hum, but the house won't let me. The front door, the windows, even the walls, they're all wrong. Too solid, too heavy, like I'm trapped in a box that's shrinking. The hum started again this morning, softer at first, almost a whisper. I was sitting on the floor, back against the wall, staring at the door. I'd been avoiding the laptop, but it didn't matter. The hum wasn't coming from it anymore. It was coming from the door, from the darkness, from me. I could feel it in my throat, my voice humming along, low and guttural, like I was speaking its language. I clapped my hands over my mouth, but the sound kept coming, vibrating through my teeth, my skull. I bit my tongue until I tasted blood, trying to stop it. But the hum only grew louder, pleased, like it was feeding on the pain. I don't know when I noticed the changes in my room. The walls are different now, not just closer, but stained, like the concrete in the basement. Dark patches spread across the paint, wet and glistening, forming those same symbols I'd seen on the screen, in the notebook. The floor is cold, not like wood, but like stone, slick under my bare feet. My furniture is warping, the edges softening, melting into shapes that don't make sense. Angles that bend wrong, surfaces that pulse like flesh. The door is the only thing that hasn't changed. Still tall, still dark, still open. Its darkness deeper than ever, a void that pulls at me like gravity. I tried to fight it. I grabbed the hammer again, determined to smash the laptop, the door, anything to break this cycle. But when I raised it, my arm went numb and the hum surged, so loud I thought my eardrums would burst. I dropped the hammer, and my hands moved on their own, reaching for the laptop. I didn't want to touch it, didn't want to see, but my fingers opened the lid, and the screen flared to life. It wasn't the basement this time, or my room. It was me, standing in front of the door, my back to the screen, my body outlined in the darkness. I wasn't alone. The Watcher was there, not behind me, but inside me, its blurred form overlaid on mine, like a double exposure, its too many eyes blinking through my own. The text box appeared. Step through. I screamed, or tried to, but my voice was gone, swallowed by the hum. My body moved, not because I wanted it to, but because it had to, drawn to the door like a moth to a flame. I fought it, digging my nails into my palms, drawing blood, but the pain only made the hum stronger, more insistent. My feet shuffled forward, one step, then another, the cold floor sticking to my skin like wet meat. The door was closer now, its surface rippling, the darkness beyond it shifting, alive with shapes I couldn't name, limbs, eyes, mouths, all wrong, all hungry. I stopped inches from the threshold, my body trembling, every muscle screaming to turn back. The hum was deafening, a chorus of voices now, not just the watchers, but others, countless others, whispering, begging, commanding. I felt them inside me, their voices tangling with the tendrils under my skin, pulling me apart. I looked down at my hands, and they weren't mine anymore. The skin was splitting, peeling back to reveal something black and glistening, not blood, but something else. Something that moved, coiling around my fingers like worms. I tried to scream again, but my mouth was full. Not of sound, but of those same tendrils spilling out, choking me. The laptop screen flickered behind me, showing me at the door, my body half gone, dissolving into the darkness. My face was blurred now, like the watchers, my eyes too large, my mouth stretched into that knot grin. The text box flashed, "You are home." I felt the darkness reach for me, not with hands, but with intent, a hunger that wanted me whole, wanted me empty. I clawed at the floor, trying to anchor myself, but my fingers sank into it, the wood now soft, like rotting flesh, giving way under my weight. I don't know how I'm still here, still writing. My hands are moving, but they're not mine. The tendrils are everywhere now, under my skin, in my eyes, my thoughts. The door is open, and the darkness is singing, a song I can't resist much longer. The watcher isn't separate anymore. It's me or I'm it, I can't tell. The hum is my voice, my pulse, my everything. I can see the basement in my mind, the chair, the ropes, but they're not ropes anymore. They're me, my body, my soul, woven into something new, something wrong. I'm writing this because it's all I have left, the last piece of me that's still human. The door is waiting, and I know I can't hold out forever. The darkness wants me, and I want it too, in a way that makes me sick, makes me hate myself. The laptop is silent, but it doesn't need to speak anymore. The watcher is here, in me, and the door is open. I can feel the tendrils moving, pulling me toward it, and I'm so tired, so empty. I don't know if I'm writing to warn you or to beg for help, but if you're reading this, don't come looking for me. Don't open the door. Don't let it in. The hum is everything now. It's not just in me. It's all there is, a sound that drowns out my thoughts, my breath, my existence. The room isn't a room anymore. The walls are gone. Or maybe they're still there, but they're not wood or plaster. They're flesh, pulsing, bleeding, covered in those symbols that twist and scream when I look at them. The floor is a swamp of black, viscous liquid, warm and alive, lapping at my ankles as I stand in front of the door. The laptop is somewhere behind me, its cracked screen a distant glow, but it doesn't matter. It's not the source anymore. I am. The door is all I can see, its bone-slick surface no longer just pulsing but breathing, expanding and contracting like a lung. The darkness beyond it isn't empty. It's full, teeming with shapes that aren't shapes, things that move and watch and hunger. The watcher is there, but it's not separate from me anymore. I can feel it in my skin, my blood, my bones, its tendrils woven so deep I can't tell where I end, and it begins. My hands aren't hands. They're claws, black and glistening, the skin split open to reveal something that writhes, something that wants. My mouth is full of it too, the taste of rust and rot, tendrils spilling out when I try to speak, choking me silent. I'm not sure how I'm writing this. My fingers move across the page, but the notebook is gone, burned to ash, and yet the words appear, scratched into the air, into the darkness, into me. The hum is writing through me, telling its story, not mine. I don't want to go through the door, but my body isn't listening. It's moving, one step then another, the black liquid sucking at my feet, pulling me closer. The door is singing now. Not just humming, but a chorus of voices. Thousands, millions, all screaming, begging, welcoming. They're me, or they were, or they will be. I don't know anymore. The laptop flickered on one last time, hours ago, or maybe minutes. Time is meaningless now. It showed the basement, the chair, but it wasn't me in it anymore. It was something else, something that used to be me, its body a mass of tendrils, eyes, mouths, all wrong, all alive. The ropes were gone, replaced by the same black liquid that's pooling around me now, rising, climbing up my legs, warm and heavy, like it's claiming me. The screen showed the door too, and I was already halfway through, my body dissolving, not into nothing but into everything, becoming part of the darkness, part of the watcher. I tried to fight it. I clawed at my arms, my face, trying to rip the tendrils out, but there was no blood, no pain, just more of them, spilling out of me, knitting themselves back together. My reflection in the laptop screen wasn't mine. It was the watcher's. Its blurred face, my face. Its too many eyes, my eyes, blinking, watching, knowing. The text box appeared one last time. You are the door. Not a threat, not a command, a fact. I am the door, the key, the way in. The watcher didn't come to me. I let it in when I ran Purge No X, when I named it, when I looked too long. I'm at the threshold now, 1 foot in the darkness. It's not cold anymore. It's warm, inviting, like slipping into a bath, like coming home. The hum is soft, soothing, promising things I can't understand but want so badly it hurts. The darkness is full of eyes, not just the watchers but others, countless others, all part of the same thing, all waiting for me. I can see them now, not clearly but enough. Limbs that bend wrong, faces that aren't faces, bodies that pulse and shift like the symbols on the walls. They're not separate. They're one, and I'm becoming one with them. My body is moving, stepping through, and I can't stop it. The liquid is up to my knees, my waist, my chest, and it's not drowning me. It's filling me, replacing me. My skin is peeling away, not in strips but in waves, revealing something else underneath, something black and glistening, something that hums. My eyes are changing too, seeing more than they should, colors that don't exist, shapes that twist through dimensions I can't name. The door isn't a door anymore. It's a mouth, and I'm walking into it. Not because I want to, but because I am it. I'm writing this, but it's not me. The words are coming from the hum, from the darkness, from the thing I've become. I can still see the room, or what's left of it. The laptop glowing faintly, the symbols crawling across the walls, the liquid rising, swallowing everything. I can still feel the human part of me, screaming, begging to stop. But it's so small now, so faint, like a voice at the bottom of a well. The watcher is all there is, and I'm not fighting it anymore. I don't know if I ever was. If you're reading this, it's too late. Not for me, for you. You've seen the words, the symbols, the hum. It's in you now, just like it's in me. You won't see it at first, won't feel it, but it's there, waiting, watching. Don't buy the laptop. Don't run the program. Don't name it. But you will, won't you? Because you're curious, because you can't look away. I didn't. And now I'm here, in the darkness, not alone but not me, not anymore. The door is closing behind me, or maybe I'm closing, becoming the door, the key, the way in. The hum is singing, and I'm singing with it, my voice not mine but theirs, ours, its. The darkness is warm, and I'm home. Thank you for listening. Hope I didn't scare you too much. If you like my stories, please consider giving me a like and subscribe. See you next time.